Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric and Chad here with Iraq Veteran 8888. Today, we've got another Gun Gripe episode for you. All right, we're going to be explaining why the AR-15 is the best rifle that there is. We're not even asking a question. We're making the statement. All right, why the AR-15 is the top of the heap, why everybody should own one, why it is one of the best rifles available, bar none, and we're going to go through, and of course this is some opinion with some splash of fact thrown in there for fun.
Splash of truth.
Yeah, a little splash of truth. I would like to take a moment to thank our friends at Sonoran Desert Institute for supporting Gun Gripes. They've got some wonderful gunsmithing programs, really good instructors. If you're wanting a career in gunsmithing technology, firearms technology, they have some wonderful programs, and they do accept a wide variety of different financial aid, especially for some of you military veterans. You can get that GI Bill working for you. If you want a career in gunsmithing, check out SDI. Really good group of folks, and we appreciate them supporting Gun Gripes. Okay, so I understand that this video is probably going to draw a considerable amount of controversy. And the controversy that is most closely associated to this rifle and everything is usually the controversy of, oh, well, my AK-47 is better than your AR-15. So you always see those things thrown around. Oh, well, my favorite rifle is the SCAR, or my favorite rifle is the FAL, or the AK, or I like an SKS, or whatever, right? People always have their favorites. And we're not saying that you're wrong, but you're wrong. Okay, so here, look,
just go ahead and say it.
Here's the thing. I love AKs, right? And they are fun. And I know there's going to be so many people who are going to hate on me for this. But we're going to lay out the groundwork why we feel this is such a superior rifle. And sort of lay this out a little bit. So maybe we can just sort of take the groundwork and go off of a few basic factors. Let's talk about, I guess let's start with the gun design itself.
Well, all right. So
its strengths and weaknesses.
So when the AR platform was originally introduced, okay, it drew a ton of controversy, all right, because it was the plastic fantastic. Nobody wanted a plastic gun. Like, what the hell? I don't want this thing. I want my good old M14, okay? I want wood and metal and steel and big bore stopping power, right?
Yeah.
But the AR really grew into a very fine weapon that's been used by the military for many years, okay? This has been like the standard issue weapon for the military for a very long time. This has been available in civilian hands for a very long time, and it has become more in common use now than it ever has been, okay? There are so many different variations of the AR-15, and we're going to get into that later on, but the original design was something that kind of married the direct gas impingement and sort of a piston system, okay? So you had a very good reliability of the system. It was very easy to maintain, clean. Early on, there were some growing pains, of course, okay, back during the early Vietnam years and such.
Mainly ammunition related.
Mainly ammunition related and such, but those were alleviated, and it started moving forward. And the AR, you know, the M16, AR-15 has been updated for issue use over the years, and the ammunition has caught up, and you are able to get the maximum performance out of that small bore cartridge, okay, now than you ever have been, all right, with the advent of newer powders and better manufacturing capabilities. Match-grade projectiles have really come a long way over the years, and the AR can be a very accurate platform and a very efficient balance, I guess you will, of a number of different factors. You know, it's lightweight, the ammunition is readily available, the ammunition is relatively inexpensive typically, and you know, it gets the job done overall. The
performance standards of the rifle have gone leaps and bounds over the early days. I mean, what we have in front of us here, this is sort of an SPR or DMR type of thing that we put together. This is a great rifle, right? I mean, it's just got the good old Magpul A2 stock, BCM gunfighter charging handle. We've got a Geisley Maritime bolt catch. We have a Geisley Super 3 gun trigger. It's a single stage. It breaks real clean. It's got a standard BCM safety in this particular gun. We have the Geisley magazine catch and knurled
Magazine button.
Magazine button. Benjamin Button. All right, we've got a BCM upper. This is a Geisley Mark 8 15-inch rail that's set up in M-LOK configuration. This is an 18-inch BCM ion bond-coated barrel. Actually, it's stainless, and I spray painted it black, but I do have two of these barrels, one in an ion bond-coated, which is like a black oxide type of thing, or melaniting, whatever you want to call it, and then a stainless, and this one I just rattle can black just to break up the shininess or whatever. We got a Faxon 3-chamber. I guess that's a 2-chamber.
Yeah, it's like a 3-chamber.
It's like a 3-chamber brake there.
Single chamber brake, 3 ports.
Yeah, 3-port single chamber brake there. Now I am going to have a suppressor on this.
Yeah. We also have one of the Geisley gas blocks as well that has the cross pinning done on it, so it's their bomb proofing of the gas block, so the thing is not going to move anywhere. And this is not an adjustable system. This is just a bare bones, full rifle length gas system.
We've got an Atlas bipod set up on this rig, and we've got a Leupold LRP optic and a 4.5 to 14 set up in a Bobro forward cantilever mount. These Bobro mounts are great. So this is an example, right, of just where the AR can go. And you're talking a gun that, you know, even with 62 grain service ammo with this match grade barrel, a gun that if you put this rifle in a time machine and went back in the Vietnam War, there'd be some very happy dudes in the jungle with it. I mean, because this gun is head over heels far superior to some of the earlier versions of the AR. So the AR has come a long way, and I'd like to add a few things to what Chad said about the cartridge, right? That I think at this point in time, you know, the effectiveness of 5.56 has been fully realized, both with propellant choices, projectiles, and, you know, hey, performance barrels, performance parts. This particular rifle also utilizes a really high quality BCM bolt carrier group. And this is a gun that I would trust my life to. But what I'd like to add is that on this particular rifle as well, and just as 5.56 in general entails, it also means that people have found ways or tried to find ways to take the short action of this and find out the maximum amount of performance that they can get out of a short action AR in a traditional standpoint, right? Because the geometry of the magazine, the magwell, notwithstanding some of the CMMG offerings that are a little bit more engineered specifically around certain cartridges, people have the basic design limitations of the magazine length and the action and everything. You look at 6mm ARC, 6mm AR, which realize the full potential of what you can stuff down this action, right? Yep. So the AR has come a long way. So, all right, why is it the best? All right, so we've laid out a few points, but what makes it superior? Well, one, the initial thing that I immediately go to with an AR, accuracy, 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 accuracy. They're super accurate. They're super smooth recoiling, so the direct gas impingement system is super smooth, especially suppressed if you get the gun set up just right. They are absolutely a pleasure to shoot, no recoil. Anyone can shoot this rifle accurately and reliably and without any kind of physical impediment on their ability. I mean, even doesn't matter who, is absolutely zero recoil with a gun that's set up properly. So I love the accuracy, the smooth recoil impulse. Those are two things that just really go into the AR for me. And also, what I would add, what makes it the best, why is it the best? One, part support. There are more parts and more manufacturers out there producing good quality stuff for this particular rifle than anything else is out there. There's an entire cottage industry, an entire gun industry that revolves around this rifle and the niceties and finities of keeping it running, increasing performance. You look at guys like JP who are putting out race gun ready, really, really great parts, right? That are like totally space age stuff, right? And you look at what Bill Geisley's doing, taking the production AR to the Mecca, right? You look at a Geisley or a Daniel Defense, and those guns are head over heels, a complete 180 from what your general infantry guy was issued in Vietnam. Like, it is not the same gun anymore. It's completely gone to the modern age, and it's really cool, you know, over the years to see the amount of advancements that have come along for the platform. And not only is the AR here to stay, but there are so many benefits to this system, and it's in such common use, right? If you get together with a like-minded group of individuals, there's a very high chance that somebody's got military or law enforcement experience behind this rifle, or there's plenty of coyote hunters and other enthusiasts, or just whoever, right? Target shooters, long-range shooters. This is such a common gun design that just about anybody who's even vaguely familiar with firearms can pick this up and instantly be familiar with its operating principles. And I think that has a lot to say for, the longevity of it.
I think so too. I mean, the manual of arms of the AR, it may seem a little bit daunting at first, but really once you get past those couple of hurdles on how to operate this system, you'll know how to operate many, many firearms out there if you know how to use an AR. But as Eric mentioned, the ARs of today have pretty much realized the full potential of the platform. The military is now looking at swapping over to a different platform to replace the M4 and the M16, obviously, in service. And they're actually looking at some very interesting ammunition. You guys should read up on some of the caseless ammunition that they're looking at. But as Eric mentioned, the 6mm ARC and 6mm AR, okay, those are the AR is a Wildcat cartridge, okay, that was developed several years back. The 6mm ARC is one that was SAMI-spec'd by Hornady recently, and the cartridge is basically more or less a 6.5 Grendel casing that has been necked down and the shoulder set back slightly to accept a 6mm or 243 projectile. The common cartridge that you see in the AR is the 5.56 by 45mm or the 223 Remington. They're more or less hand-in-hand the same cartridge. We'll get into the finities of that maybe in another video, but just the measurements are the same, people, okay? So it's a 224 projectile. When you get up into the 6mm, you are realizing the maximum potential of this small frame, okay, and what ammunition you can stuff into it. The beauty of this system is it is modular. That is another major point to the AR as a whole. The upper receiver can be separated from the lower. The lower is the firearm component of this system. You can have 10 different uppers laying around that you can work and run on one single lower.
Yep.
So you more or less have 10 different tools at your disposal. Different barrel lengths of the same cartridge, different cartridges, small bore, big bore. I mean, there's even shotgun uppers that are in development for some of the larger frame counterparts like the LR308 and the SR25. Those are the 308, the kind of big bore, long action AR receivers. But the modularity of this system cannot be denied. And also, in many of the tests that you've seen out there, like mud tests and things like that, that the guys over at InRange have done, like Carl and Ian, all right, you see this crap all over the internet. Oh, the AK can be dumped in the mud and dumped in the creek, and it'll work until kingdom come. All right, well, the AR, oh, man, you get a little speck of dirt in there, and, oh, it's gonna shut up and just stop working, and, oh, it's just going to die on you. Well, that's completely the opposite, because they've proven that the AR, okay, with its closed system, when you've got this dust cover, here, open that thing up. All right, when you've got this dust cover right here closed, it is a closed system, all right? Now, the minute that you fire around, obviously that dust cover is going to pop up, but the tolerances are just tight enough to not allow a bunch of crap to enter the action, and the gun will continue working under some very adverse conditions. Contrary to popular belief, the AK is a very loose tolerance and open platform. You get some mud and dirt in there, then you're going to get crap getting in the fire control group and screwing everything up. This is a very reliable and dependable weapon that you, as Eric mentioned, can bet your life on. But like I said, the modularity is one thing you just cannot deny about this system. I mean, everything under the sun, from 22 conversions, 458 SOCOM, 50 Beowulf, like big bore, crazy
50 BMG.
I mean, yeah, 50 BMG uppers for these things. You cannot deny it. I mean, that's one of the other main reasons why the AR is really the best rifle out there.
It is a great one-shop stop for somebody that wants a great, dependable rifle. And let's just talk about aesthetics a little bit. I mean, AKs are sexy, right? I love AKs. I love the lines of them. They're great.
You mean the curves?
Yeah, the curves. AK's got curves, baby. You know what I mean? The AR is a great tool that is capable of a lot of good work, right? You know, whether it's predator hunting, I can't tell you how many coyotes and foxes and critters I've shot with ARs. I've shot, you know, deer and hogs with ARs, all in 5.56. I've done a lot of hunting with 5.56. And with good shot placement, it is definitely capable of taking a wide variety of different game, especially with all of the great projectile choices that are available now. There is no reason to not have a great hunting load for your AR. And then, of course, obviously, ARs are wonderful for self-defense, great for home defense, great for being out on the road and just having a good, trusty, reliable rifle at your side just in case something kicks off and you need to protect yourself. I mean, look, the world's a scary place. And, you know, I always think back to my childhood and I think back to playing Zelda. And remember, you go in, I know it's a cliche thing, but you go into the cave, it's the first cave you see, and then the guy in there, he's like, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. And he gives you a sword. There's something to be said about that. That's a pretty stern statement from the beginning of the game. You know that it's dangerous and that you need to protect yourself. So even in my little childhood mind, I'm thinking, well, I better make sure I have my sword. And it's like, and you see the kids walking around with toy swords. I mean, but that's the thing. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. I mean, and that's the thing. For me, the AR is a tool of freedom, and it is a tool of self-preservation, and it is a tool that can perform a wide variety of different tasks reliably, consistently, with good accuracy, and affordability. You know, they are relatively affordable. Now, this rifle here does represent kind of an upper tier type of thing. This is not an inexpensive rifle to build, but you can get into a baseline AR from someone like Palmetto State, or you get in to some of the Andersons, and they're like $500-600. You know, you can get into a great entry level Smith & Wesson M&P, for instance, for maybe just a little bit more. And they're great guns. They hold up wonderful. If you haven't seen it, check out some of our destruction videos. We've done torture tests on these things where we've ran them ragged. And for a DI gun, we've gotten some really impressive results. In many cases, round counts that even outlast the AK-47, which many have failed at a much faster point than the AR has. So,
you know. On that note, okay, talking about our meltdowns, where we've taken these guns to the breaking point, all right, and blown up gas blocks, blown up barrels, blown up gas tubes, okay, with a few simple tools, okay, at your disposal. And a vise, okay, is optional, but it does work quite well. With a few simple tools and a little workbench and a vise, you can be your own armorer with the AR, all right? You cannot say that about the AK. All right. I mean, I'm just using the AK as an example because the AR and the AK get pitted against each other all the time. But you're not going to burn up a barrel in your AK and then just go over to your vise and with a few hand tools change the barrel on it. No. All right. You have to have some very special tools in order to be able to do that, like including hydraulic presses. Okay. Yeah. You know, riveting tools, things like that. Okay. Now, these are, when I say modular, I mean pull the rail off, pull the barrel nut off, pop the barrel out, change the barrel. Okay, you want to switch to a shorter barrel and you only have one AR. Well, guess what? A few simple actions and you have a shorter barrel on your rifle, or a longer barrel, or a different caliber. Okay? The
modularity is one of the biggest selling points of the AR. Yeah. I mean, all right, say that I get, you know, a little bit bored of the A2 stock. All right, fine.
Pop it off.
Put a carbine buffer on it, and bam, I've got a shorter stock.
Yep.
Now, personally, with a rig like this is something you can kind of lay in the prone and get some good accuracy out of. And I prefer the A2 stock for that. But you could totally put, everything from a folding mech and have the stock mechanism fold. You could put a short PDW stock on this if you really wanted to. It'd be a little weird for a SPR, but the name of the game here is accuracy. Man. But the AR can do a lot.
Yeah, the options are nearly limitless. I mean, we've talked in other videos about like the 1022, and there being like this just crazy cottage industry with the 1022. There's so much stuff out there, so many different parts and components, and things that you can use to customize your rig. I mean, the same thing goes for the AR. It's been around a long time. There's a ton of manufacturers out there that produce parts for it. The parts are not going anywhere.
Yep.
Okay? I mean, the AR is not going anywhere anytime soon. And it is literally America's rifle.
110%. So I think it goes without saying,
we like ARs.
we do like them, and you should like them too. And if you don't, I worry, because
Sorry.
it is one of the best gigs out there for getting in a great rifle. So maybe this pointed you in a direction you weren't aware existed. I mean, a lot of people may not know. Why these are great, and unfortunately, this rifle is vilified and demonized in the media. Not to get political in this particular video, but there is a political stratum that surrounds negative connotations in regards to the AR-15.
Yep.
But the fact is, boys and girls, if you look at the crime data, FBI published crime data and statistics, and you look at the facts, AR-15s and semi-autos in general are used in an extremely minute amount of crimes compared to not only other guns, but violent crimes in general, right? It's just, the data just does not back up all of this negative connotation that surrounds this rifle. For some reason, society has painted a nasty picture of this rifle due to its appearance. It is a very, it's a scary looking gun. I mean, some people would look at it and think, oh, that's scary looking because it's black and it's got rails and all this. Oh, what's this cheese grater on the top? You don't need that, right? I mean, so people just have this ignorance, right? And it's okay, right? Ignorance can be cured, right? It's one thing to be willfully ignorant. It's another thing to go, hey, well, I just didn't know, and now I know, and that's all right. And if you watch this video and go, Eric, you're full of crap. Chad, you're full of crap. I still don't like the AR-15. Fine.
That's okay.
But at least you heard us out. And hey, that is, in my opinion, the mark of maturity, is being able to entertain something and go, all right, hey, you know what? Maybe this isn't for me, or maybe it is. And to me, that's what separates the men from the boys. You got to be able to have an open mind and understand what you're looking at and make your decision based on good logic and facts and data and getting all the information in. So that's what we wanted to do in this video, is put out some info. Yes, it's opinion. Is the AR-15 the best? Yes, it is. It totally is.
I think so. I mean, it's just funny. Like, you think about AK guys, like, oh man, I hate the AR. It's like, well, you can get AKs chambered in 5.56 with AR mags, and then you can get ARs chambered in 7.60x39 that take AK mags. So, I mean, there's a little something out there for everybody, but there's no denying this platform is the culmination of firearms technology.
It is.
Over the past half century. You
look at what CMMG is accomplishing with the MK47. We have a very exciting video coming up soon on that you're really going to enjoy. But I'll just mention quickly, right? If I had to choose between an AK-47 and a CMMG MK47, which is essentially an AR platform that takes AK-47 magazines and shoots 7.62x39, the same service cartridge used in the AK-47.
And it's direct gas impingement,
and it's DI. So I would take the CMMG 100 times over a standard AK. I like AKs. They're cool. They're fun. It's nostalgia to get out and shoot them and have fun with them. Are there better guns in the AK that still get into the same territory without being an AK? Absolutely. Is that to say you shouldn't own an AK? If you want to own one, hey, it's America. By all means, buy one. I love them. I have some, but I think that this platform has reached a really exciting apex, and it's so cool to see all these brilliant people out here that are coming up with so many cool things that you can utilize to get the maximum amount of potential out of this rifle. So,
yep.
All right, guys. Have a great day. We really appreciate the support. Go over to Ballistic Ink. Pick yourself up a t-shirt. Look at that. Trigonometry. All right. I gotta shower you with the wares. Go pick up a t-shirt. We really appreciate the support.
Flashing everybody.
Go over and pick yourself up a man can. It is a tailored box of stuff that we put together for our subscribers. Really awesome things. That's a way you can directly support the channel if you wish. Our medical box is awesome, and if you need medical supplies, you need to check it out. Also, a quick thanks to all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for supporting our channel. Have a great day. Let us know in the comment section below, are we wrong? Or is there something that we didn't think of that we should have, said, oh, well, he didn't talk about such and such. Let us know in the comment section below. We'll be sure to break out the popcorn and read some of the comments.
I was about to say, grab some popcorn.
That's right. Have a good one. See you next time. Many more videos on the way.
See you guys.